Try that again. It's the Grimlord here, and I'm back with another video. This is Grim's Comic Corner, and we are covering Transmetropolitan again. You guys received the first one, or the second one, so well that I figured, well, let's just keep going and see how crazy things get. Look at this, all this different, I heal for credit, give generously. Oh wow, look at that guy. Direct Action Baptist. Give, give, give. The end of the world is still nigh. Allen Church Second Chance. Pay a buck, change your luck. Oh, Frank Quietly. Oh. Warren Ellis writes and Derek Robertson pencils. God writing shotgun. So this zealot comes to my door, all glazed eyes and clean reproductive organs, asking me if I ever think about God. So I tell him I killed God. I tracked God down like a rabid dog, hacked off his legs with a hedge trimmer, raped him with a corn cob, and boiled off his corpse in an acid bath. So he pulls an alternating current taser on me and tells me that the only official Serbian Church of Tesla can save my polyphase intrinsic electric field, known to non-engineers as the soul. So I hit him. What would you do? Politicians use express lane. Channon, stir your godless fornicating ass out of your pit, woman. Rouse, there is work to be done. What? Work, professional obligations, journalism. Oh, Christ, today my head feels like... Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Christ, today my head feels like a dog shit in it. What's the time? 5:30. Play gray? Oh, those are robots. At night? In the morning. Oh, you, I've been in bed for an hour, you unbelievable bastard. You're dressed like... Yes, am I not lovely? You've been taking Jumpstart again, haven't you? You were quitting. Ah, but now the IRS has agreed that I can write my professional medication off as journalist equipment. Oh, Spider, when did you last sleep? 3 days ago, and I feel fine. For now, you're a bit damned old to be working your body like this, you know. Arabica coffee, no sugar. You? Play a Grateful Dead disc first, Oh, no, he says Colombian, 4 sugars, rather. Okay. The maker's stoned again. I thought it'd stop manufacturing its own drugs. Fucking thing, I'm gonna fix your metal ass this time. Grrr, squeal, squeal, fucker. Ah, Spider, stop it. The noise is freaking killing me. There, now my assistant would like an Arabica, whatever that is. Coffee, black, and I would like a Colombian coffee with 4 sugars, and neither of us has time to fuck around, you piece of shit dope fiend box. Thank you, damn thing. I tried to junk it, but I woke up one morning with a horse's head in my bed. Mafia after sales service. So, to work, crank up the feed, Shannon, it's research time. Turn it on for me. What am I looking for? Religions. Find me the newest religions in the city. I could be here a while. Didn't you hear about the church index census? One new religion invested every hour or something? Exactly. I feel a column coming on. I feel it in my journalistic testicles, Shannon. Yeah, well, my journalistic ovaries feel like they're gonna die off and fall out without some sleep, but you're the boss. Religious Data Hall. SPKF service. Okay. Hell yes. Boss Jerusalem. Hard typing crime lord of the city. No, Boss Jerusalem. Don't sew up my eyes. I'll never cross you again. You're not on Jumpstart, are you? Silence. Find me churches. I feel a burning coming on. A terrible need to piss and a christening fought. Poopin Grove Private Community. Warning. Roses. What? Roses has conjectured or something. Couldn't you have gotten dressed? I am dressed. Besides, this'll bring out the criminal religious element I seek. Messianic fuckheads are a superstitious, cowardly lot, and I must strike fear into their hearts. I'm sure there's a plan here that I'm just not getting. Possibly because I'm too fucking tired because some dick woke me up at dawn. I am offended, Shannon. I am sick of being doorstep, buttonholed, and begged at by the religious. I am sick of the city's loose change and spare sanity sucked up and lived off by an ever-increasing pile of parasitical shit sticks incapable of standing up and dealing with the world on their own. Take more breaths, Spider. Or maybe just whittle your speeches down to I'm all fucked up on big red pills or something. Besides, Jiang's a Gaian biased Buddhist, and he stands up on his own okay. 1. Gaian bias is a West Side sect tailored for people who want to feel environmentally sound about filling their bodies with non-biodegradable machinery. Pixie every second? 2. Gaian bias teaches that all is one, so you can fuck anyone you like and technically remain faithful to your girlfriend, say. 3. Zhang doesn't like you even a bit, Zhang doesn't love you even a bit, and will vanish out of your life the very second he gets bored. Here to go, as we used to say when I was a prostitute. I'm not stupid, you know. Oh, hell, I'm sorry. No, fuck you, Spider. Just fuck you, okay? I thought this job would be good, you know? Look, I'm full of medication. I don't know what I'm saying. Hell, I don't even know if it's me saying it. I thought, this job would be fun, but when I'm not nursemaiding you or almost getting arrested with you, then I'm just getting insulted by you, Spider, and I know he doesn't love me, okay? I'm not stupid, but you didn't have to just come out and say it. Shannon, for Christ's sake, I'm sorry. No, fuck you're sorry. You're gonna listen to me for once. You're gonna be the audience for a change. Because, here I am. I've got this gorgeous guy, and I'm making money without having to watch people jack off over my feet. Life's good, and I haven't cleaned off yet. I've got Zhang's sweat all over me, and I'm still sore from when he fucked me in the taxi, and I know that he doesn't even like me much. Do you have any idea what that makes me feel like? You just don't say it, Spider. You don't think it. You just don't say it, Spider. You don't think it. I'm nuts about him. I've told him everything there is to tell about me, and he spends every night balls deep in me, and it's great, and I love him, and I look down at him when we're fucking, Spider, and it's like looking in an empty house. Oof. You just don't say it, Spider. I'm sorry I'm an asshole, Shannon. I'm having a bad day is all. If I'd had a few more hours sleep, I'd probably have ignored you. You know what you need to do right now? You need to go down to the Temple of the Superior Male on 365th and Gonad, crack open one of those sacred Iron John drums of theirs, and take a dump in it the size of a birthday cake. I know this is your bizarre way of making up, Spider, but I'd settle for just getting out of here. I want to get wet? Okay, how about if I shit all over a place of worship and you stand lookout for me? Would you look at that? Disgusting. It says wet, please. I guess they're advertising a drink like that. It's only a matter of time before that happens, folks. Guarantee they'll start using vagina to advertise drinks. It's coming down the pipe. Would you look at that? Disgusting. Weak stomach. Hell no, he's got more pressure than a fire hose going there. Better. Any special reason why you chose the Church of Tesla? That is a special secret between me and Nicola. Now we go do our jobs. Hit that convention of new religious movements you turned up on feed earlier. Do we have to work? I'm really not in the mood. You're miserable, edgy, and tired. You're in the perfect mood for journalism. Taxi! Halt! Over here! Hey! Stop your fucking taxi for the son of God, dickweed. The little baby Jesus is watching you all. Planet Lar concert here. We were grown by alien love gardeners. Fuck the holy gut wound of St. Mark at booth 7474. Why does it look like Slash from Guns N' Roses? Freeze B. Cometh. Meet her at booth 57. Thor needs virgins. God loves guns, and so should you. Ursula Garage leaps for us. Jesus software. Now you can feed. The truth is encoded in the nanny reruns. Watch the History Channel. The Beautician and the Beast. Do you want to eat peyote and human flesh on the path to spiritual fulfillment? Or just for the hell of it? Join the ancient cult of Ansazal. Welcome to the new religious movement convention sponsored by SPKF, Heart of the City. At booth 3931, now the conception of Hercules is being reenacted by the One True Church of Zeus. The body of John Wayne is on display at booth 8854, the Church of the Love of Cancer. Free solid gold shotgun pendants currently being given away at the Church of Cobain's booth 5611. There's a Church of Elvis. There's a Church of Ennis. IL 1000 Gospel. Come back to Zeus is back. Save God Core. Apply here. Faith, hope, be healed here. Liquid holy thoughts. St. Peter beer with saltpeter. I'm sorry. Give to God. Jesus cookies. Don't forget about Jesus cookies. Let's see. Inveterate masturbators required for the cult of poor damn Onan's floor show. Dr. Robertson. What can we talk about your religious convictions? Well, there's Zen in my thinking and elements of ancient Kharsis approaches and very old heretical Christian thought. I study with the sweet back foundation for spiritual fulfillment through bondage, domination, and anal intrusion. I consider myself a disciple of Paracelsus. I'm a Catholic, sometimes switching to Episcopalian. I've been a Wiccan. I've experimented with worshiping the earth, moon, and sun as goddess bitches. Oh, and I spent a few years as a choir boy in the North Tip Mystery School of Stigmatic Clog Dancing. That's kind of a wandering conviction, ain't it? Not really. I consider it all training for my discovery of the true religion. And that's what I'm here to discuss today. The Sacrament Foundation, based on the revelations gifted me by the alien love gardeners. Many of you have heard of my book, available in print and an Amfeed Wit book. Well, they're right about that. They definitely saw that come. Remember, this book was written in the 90s, early 2000s. Exchange, of which I detail the first weeks of my dealings with the gardeners. Now I have a question about that. Shoot, stop me when I lose the plot here. This heretofore unknown alien species has crossed entire galaxies to get to the city to abduct you on a basis more regular than train timetables, correct? Yes. Okay, what I don't follow is the actual truth you attach to these events. You claim that their continual thieving of you, their probing of your ass, fractionating of your brain, and steam cleaning of your testicles is an attempt to make contact. Yes. Well, you see, it indicates a few other things to me. I mean, either you have the most beautiful asshole in the cosmos, or there is no intelligent life in the universe. I mean, why develop intergalactic travel technology just to stick a prong up your rectum? There are other ways of making contact, aren't there? Or you made it all up in a sterling effort to gouge the bank accounts of the terminally gullible. Oops, the glue under your scar rotted. There. My work here is done. Next. Church of Christ Breatharian. Oh no, it's a breatharian. My God, a special friend. He gives me special prizes. And that's why I only need air to survive. No food, no water. I always thought people hated me. Then I discovered the priesthood of Odin, and I learned it was okay to hate. I just couldn't get through the day until I found the love of Dogon. The Syrians love me, and now I love myself. My life was nothing before I castrated myself. Now God has accepted me. We were never supposed to fornicate, don't you see? My, your clothes are very tight, young lady. I was driven mad by ideas, terrible ideas. And then I found a way to release them, and I lived cleanly. And I could do the same for you. Release. What? I represent the Church of Release. We practice sacred trepanation. What? Oh Christ, a bright one. Listen, I'll crack a big fucking hole in your head with a fucking great ice pick and you'll feel better afterwards, okay? Really? Really? See, your skull is too dense for these terrible ideas to evaporate out. You need the hole. What this is, see, is conceptual ventilation, and God reaches into you through the hole, see? Well, I need something. I just can't get through my life without some help. Bullshit! Ow! You calling this bullshit? You calling my faith bullshit? Yeah, I'm calling your faith bullshit. This man needs medical help if he can't get through his life without something invisible to believe in. You know, I wouldn't mind all this half so much if there was some historical truth in it. The whole concept of faith, of believing in something that isn't fucking there, was invented by a man to cover up the cracks in Christianity he cobbled together with the Romans. This whole God thing comes from the days when our brains weren't as connected up as they are now, and we are hallucinated daily. Shut the fuck up, you goddamn heretic bastard. Fuck me, that's a Christian attitude you've got there. Shut it. Release is an evangelical religion. Didn't you know that? I look like I give a fuck? You know what that means? It means I can stick my ice pick in your fucking brain and call it an act of devotion, you living shit. Hairco, the natural solution. Read my scripture. Read my fucking scripture. That's it. That is the absolute fucking limit. You're all in it for now, you bunch of cheap scam artists, all of you. Christ almighty. Buy heaven real estate. Thieves, the goddamn lot of you. Thieves and leeches. Fucking vampires sucking the will from people whose only goddamn crimes were to be frightened and tired. And you don't help them. You don't listen to them. They get no truth from you. All you do is scare them with stories of something that doesn't exist. And you bastards are winning. Hundreds more of you every day. Getting away with it in a place so noisy that no one could ever hear the truth if it were ever told. And I can't fight you alone, you fucks. Couldn't when I was a kid and dad and went cultist. And I can't now. Jesus, justice, lawyers, God's on our side. All I can do is tell the truth. If you have money, you have no soul. What the hell? Wee dinosaur? No stopping any time. Mos Eisley. Put it in. One black boot. What? Mass man. Free sex excite. Murphy's Gym. Collapsing planet. Clone Z. Pupin Grove. Boyfriend is a virus. Zhang's dumped me. Happy now? Not exactly. And I won't even say I told you so. You never had to. I knew it. I knew it, and I still fell for him. Like picking a scab or something, you know it's bad and it'll leave a scar, but it's so damn satisfying. Wouldn't have been so bad if it'd been all about sex, you know? That I could have handled. I've been there. But he listened to me. He let me talk all night. Asked just the right questions at the right times. Let me out of myself. And now he's finished with me. And it's not even like he's going off with another woman. So I had something to point anger at. He's dumped me so that he can go kill himself. What? Turns out Zhang's been worming his way into a foglet community and saving for the change. He's going to be downloaded today. He dumped me last night and today he's going to kill himself. Downloading is pretty fucking far from suicide, Shannon. All I know is that they're going to dump his mind into a bunch of machines the size of a fat virus and then burn his body. Sounds like death to me. Did he invite you to the change? No. I think you should see the change. Give me 2 shots of potato schnapps. We're well chilled. For God's sake, why? 1, to prove to yourself he's not dying. 2, to tie off the whole bloody stump of the relationship. 3, because you've obviously never seen a downloading and everybody should. 4, because you're going to write my next week's column. I'm going to have them strip off my byline and lay yours in, and you'll get the fee. And you're going to write about your boyfriend's downloading. Know the name of the specific community he's joining? Autumn Rainfall. Great. I was worried that it'd be a new community formed after I went away, but Rainfall is one of the originals. Phone. Give me the human telecom interface for Tico Cortez, Autumn Rainfall Nano-Human Community. Put it through the TV. Dialing. Good morning. Tico, I'll be damned you haven't changed your false face in 5 years. It's Spider Jerusalem, Tico. Accident with... Hold on. Good God, you've changed. What happened to your hair, man? Accident with a shower. Listen, how have you been, man? Much the same. Stupid question, Spider. Yeah, I guess. Look, I could use a favor, Tico. Anything. My assistant's boyfriend is getting downloaded into your tribe later today. Zhang something? Zhang Guai. Had my doubts about him. He's queer for machinery, has an arrest for masturbating over supermarket shelf-stacking systems, but he seems good at heart. What? Masturbating over what? Well, she's never seen a downloading. Zhang didn't invite her. And, well, I was wondering. I see where you're going. Yeah, I think she should see it. Closure's always a good thing in downloadings for everyone. Our download suites are at 110.91 First and Schweitzer. Can you both be there? Can you both be here at 3? Done. Thanks, Tico. My pleasure. Looking forward to seeing you again, Spider. Okay, Shannon. Here's how we'll do it. I'll buy you lunch at that German place you said was too expensive for you. And then we'll come back here and get changed. I want to stay here. And when you dress, be showy. Downloadings are always very grand occasions, and the Foglets love to see us regulars making the effort. Tico? Sure. Oh, I see. No, that wasn't his face. That was what he used to look like. Oh, sorry, that guy. Oh, right. Well, I'm sorry. She was talking about the guy. She said, that guy on the phone, was he a Foglet? And yeah, he says that's what he used to look like. Now, come on. We're going to get a stack of ribers taller than you, with plenty of salt and lots of wheat beer. Woo! My boyfriend's left me. Let's celebrate by plugging up my fucking arteries. It really all got started with a guy called Hans Moravec. It's him who coined the word downloading. He was born Swiss, but brought up in Canada, which probably explains why one day he woke up with the question, would intelligent robots be like people, or would they be people? Moravec was queer for robots in the worst way, not unlike your Zhang, which explains why he woke up with that question rather than beating down his morning hard-on like the rest of us. Well, he got to thinking, if a guy has a prosthetic leg, is he still human? Sure, it still does the same job, does what you tell it to. So how about if he had 2 artificial legs, artificial arms, a plastic heart, carbon fiber bones, artificial neurons? Where do you stop being human? Moravec figured you just didn't, then made the next leap. You could put a human mind into an entirely artificial body, and that person would still be a person. You could download a mind from out of its, let's face it, eminently crappy, bold, badly designed human body, and into a seriously useful and functional, immortal artificial form. Now, I know you have a different perspective right now, but I think it's a brilliant idea. And then, of course, the body perverts got involved. They point out that if it's the pure human mind that makes the artificial form human, then the form itself doesn't have to look human. Get off my fucking back, you mouthy bastard. Why be boring? Why not have some fun with the idea? I mean, this is post-biological man we're talking about here. Oops, here we are. Ain't it pretty? Come on, Tico will be waiting. I ain't going. Oh, yes, you are. Tico Cortez, I ain't going. Spider, you look like someone nailed a bat to your throat. Hey, I made the effort. Display your invisible ass for my assistant. Shannon, meet my old friend, Tico Cortez. Oh, grow a face, you rude bastard. Sorry, Spider never gave me your name, Miss Yarrow. Shannon Yarrow. You look like a pile of dust. Why, thank you. You look very pretty too. Wasn't a compliment, Shannon. Treat him like Mexican smog, okay? You've never seen a foglet human, have you? No. In this day and age, okay, no matter. Let's start simply. Touch me. Tickles. That's my electrical field. I'm a billion tiny machines strung together by lightning hanging in the air, just like you. Let me show you. I'm a billion of these foglets, small enough to move atoms around. Your homemakers are full of things like these. You take air and food and water and make muscle and nutrients. I take air and dirt and whatever else is around and make anything I want. And it's not magic. It's human tools. He's eating the plant. I work for him is all. It's not like he's my friend or anything. Spider's a dirty bastard and a moral vacuum, but you couldn't have a better friend. Uh-huh. But back in the real world, there's something I don't get. Your mind is downloaded out of your head and somehow spreads across a million foglets. I get that. What I don't get is why. If you're bored out of your body, you could buy a new one, or a temp, or even go transient. Why become dust? I don't know, Shannon. What do you think we're giving up? Feeling. Listen, I can feel every tiny eddy in the air we're moving through. Can you? I don't have to shit anymore. What are you not giving up? And this is why I wanted you to meet Tico. He's blunt. He's a show-off. He's rude. He's human. All right. This is the floor the download suites are on. Follow me. Follow that smog, Shannon. Ask him as many questions as you like. He's stuck here until the wind changes. All right. Without being blunt or rude, we make miracles happen, Shannon. Everything is made from atoms, and we just move atoms around until we get what we want, just like a maker. To you, it seemed like that... Well, hold on. To you, it seemed like that lily appeared out of thin air, and it did. It was built from thin air. We like that. We have no physical needs. All we have to do is amuse ourselves. Being regular humans can get in the way of that. Zhang wants to work miracles and play forever in the fields of the city. Try to think of it like that. Zhang! Zhang, this is G. Golovko. I'll be overseeing your downloading. Are you ready? I've been ready for this ever since the first orgasm I had. Get me out of here. Would you please shut up for a minute? I'm afraid he can neither see nor hear you. We think it important to protect his sense of privacy during the download. My friend Jai's in there with him. You can't see her. She's in a widespread pattern that makes her invisible. Hell, you can only see me because I've drawn myself in tight enough to block the light. Oh, I'm sorry. I did this wrong. Would you please shut up for a minute? She's wound pretty tight. Her boyfriend's turning himself into nothing heavier than a cough on the other side of that glass. Get some perspective. I liked you better when you had hair. I liked you better when you had a face I could hit. Wow. There's the cloud we prepared for him. As it falls onto him, its autonomous functions will activate. It'll start precipitating through his skin, start reading his body. It's okay. It always looks worse than it is at this point. There we go. His entire mind has been read out of his brain now, and is hanging within the new cloud of foglets they dropped on him. He's waking up in there. You see, they don't incinerate the old body. They recycle it. Zhang's using the chemical energy of his old body to kickstart the foglets, like a doctor slapping a baby's ass. Here he comes. He's got lightning for nerves and fairy dust for a body. Wow. It's interesting. Would you guys want to be downloaded? I don't know. I mean, you live forever, but I don't know. It's really hard to think about. Kind of changed the procedure a bit in 5 years, haven't you? What happened to the drinks, the music, the chat, the grand occasion? There it is. There he is. We decided it was all a bit too regular for us. Zhang, look at you. You've locked the door behind you, Zhang. Don't get any second thoughts now. Pretty. Isn't it? What's happening in there, Tico? Well, essentially without getting into heavy physics or anything, Xi and Zhang are having sex. For fuck's sake, Tico, you want me to lie to her? And wow. Another cold morning. It was her heart that chased Mary into the cold. The first heart attack was a shock. She jogged every day, took her nutritional supplements and the hopeful age retardation courses. Whoops. She and Stephen moved from Southern California to Northern, taking worry and angina with them, away from that harsh, dry heat, towards easier crimes and better doctors, a colder place. The second attack caught her as she looked out on San Francisco Bay. There was going to be a third. The doctors talked bypass, but their eyes were empty of promise. The young don't lie well. She looked at her own heart that week, or new hospital scanner. It was starting to look like something that had been left out of the fridge too long. A week later, she and Stephen signed contracts with Riley Life Extension Foundation. A month later, she managed to croak out, "See you later," to Stephen before her heart went gray and still. And that was 64 years done with. And it was a hell of a 64 years. She saw the war that drove America crazy. Saw it with her own eyes. She saw the first step off world. She saw a severed city put back together with sledgehammers. She saw William Burroughs and Nelson Mandela and Richard Nixon and the Beatles and Mother Teresa. There was history in Mary's head. Hard history. Hard lived and loved. And all Mary wanted was to keep seeing history. Her contract was for a neurological suspension. The busy optimist at Riley ever so gently hacked off Mary's head, wrapped it in a fairly crude protective fabrics, and dropped it into a steel can full of liquid nitrogen, like throwing a coin into a wishing well. Mary's head was frozen at 186 centigrade, and racked up with everyone else they were tossing down the line. Cryofreeze 239, do not open. Stephen died of some disgusting disease in Kuala Lumpur 3 years later, way the hell too far from Riley. He died hard, fists clenched, eyes shining with anger. An endless future with his beautiful wife had been stolen from him, and he died with hate and a sadness too big for his mouth to capture. Stephen's last words were, "If you people ever washed your fucking toilet seats." Wow. Gotti, buy or else. Mr. Man, Fridays, 7 p.m. Postmortem, email memory. Oof. Sun Lover. Ebola. Boostful. Orgasm Chasm. That's a band name. Somebody needs to use that. Cadaver Warehouse. Print District. Baby Love. Sex. Stop the Beast. Insane Posaines. Use porno clones. Cheap. Porno clones. There we go, right there. That's the future. People are like, "Oh, I want this porn star. Like, I want Amaranth," or whatever. Yeah, like Twitch girls or whatever. And there she is. There's a clone of Amaranth. My God. We're in for such a hellscape. Let's see. Oops. 6 weeks ago, Reclamation got to Mary's can. They drained out the liquid nitrogen while looking at their watches, and got Mary's head into a Providence field before hauling ass down to the African for lunch. Stuffed full of matoke, they come back to find that Mary was who the ancient suspension contract said she was, so they got to work growing her the body the contract said she wanted. Riley were busy optimists after all. They knew nanotechnology and free cloning had to happen sometimes. Either that or we'd all go up in a mushroom cloud or whatever the Ragnarok du jour was. So they offered special options to their clients. Awake in a new world with the body of a 20-year-old. Hell, any 20-year-old. Request your youth back or pin a picture of the look you want to your contract. Whatever. Riley wouldn't have to deal with your crazed demands after all. Okay. You want the head of John Wayne, the body of Arnold Schwarzenegger, the cock of a Brahma bull, and testicles like basketball? Sure. In the future, everything will be possible. Dotty makers, live as a dawn or sleep with the fishes. Suck dog, new sexual horizons, give a dog a bone. CFC Dirty Rain. All these years later, then, City Reclamation fired a miner into her to excavate a physical template memory, but it just fell into a wet, ice-damaged mess, damage from the imperfect business of freezing, damage from the uneven process of thawing. So they started in with the repair infection, 1,000 regiments of robots, each the size of a molecule, all stamped into Mary's brain. At that size, it's not a problem to move individual atoms around like building blocks, assembling what you need from what's available. Scouts hunted down the cellular information structure in Mary's brain and then set the grunts off to work, patching Mary's brain back together cell by cell. Reclamation had time for a coffee. Refiring the miner, they nailed Mary's physical template memory, took a decent trace of it, and plugged the numbers into the quick tank. Bacterial-level robots and a mixture of water and soil started building the most complex machine in the world. Think about it. The quick tank is given a job most of us would laugh out of town. Build a sophisticated camera capable of full 3D input and peripheral pickup using only water and jelly. Build an eye. At 3 in the afternoon, Sita finally managed to split some skeleton saliva into the wetlock of the boss's private drinks cabinet. Sita used to be a cat burglar. Civil servant wasn't much of a career change. So Reclamation broke open some cherry vodka while Mary was growing in a bottle of dirty water. By the time Mary's new body was ready, Sita had managed to get Michelle drunk and was giving her one in the toilets, and Humberto was taking a piss into Mary's empty suspension can, marveling how the urine crackled as it struck the residue. The wobbling reminder of Reclamation wrestled out the transfer hoses, linked Mary's shattered old head with the newly minted disease-free 25-year-old Mary, and piped her mind over. And that was that. They put a call into the Reclamation Center, heaved Sita off Michelle, and gave her a crack upside the head, and hauled it down to the bar for the night. And that was Mary's second birth done with. 5 minutes later, the nanotech life support system riding Mary's new bloodstream released all its locks and allowed her to wake up. She came to, alone and wet, scraps of mud under her fingernails, and a stiff body that felt like a glove too small, and a grubby room without windows. Mary had already gone into mild shock when the counselor turned up 10 minutes later. The counselor had recently been left by his wife and had more important things on his mind, like where the hell else was he going to find a woman prepared to do all the horrible things in bed that he required to get it up? He was immediately impressed by Mary. Young, slim body, slightly glassy look in the eyes, mildly concussed expression. What could be shit under her nails? Very good. He gave her the usual revival's bathrobe, quietly relieved that it had been washed this time. Hello, he said. I'm Michael. How are you feeling, Mary? And horribly, crushingly, blastingly, out of all hope of sexingly, the first words from those soft, pale, damp lips were, "Where's my husband?" So fuck it, Michael thought. Just another revival. Shouldering on a cold, heavy professional cloak, he eyed his pad and with a relished edge of steel in his voice said, "Your husband died 3 years after you, in an unrecoverable location. He didn't make it into suspension." Mary's stomach fell away. Mary asked how long she'd be in cryogenic suspension. He did the worst possible thing under the circumstances, he told her. "There's a transport waiting for you," the counselor told her, not sounding bothered whether she was listening or not. "That'll take you to a revival's hostel. It's double park, so get a move on." Double park, she clung to that. It meant something after all. Cars, driving, roads. Something duly normal, something real at least. It didn't occur to her that that meant she'd have to go out onto the street. The ride down was ordinary. There'd be an ordinary car bus waiting for her outside on the ordinary street. How much could things really change? Oh, it'd be weird, sure, she expected that. But she coped well enough with the massive changes she saw in her own first lifetime. From a 4-digit phone number to the net, from wooden planes to the Mars rover. Civic Center, cryogenic revival. Wow. All 19? Or Hall 19. From there to here. What? Clone pig, clone human meat at prices you like. Wow. They're already talking about it. They're already talking about human meat. It's been on the internet for a while. Squeal, piggies, squeal, piggy. What the hell? It's a dog? CFC. What the? Oh, wow, she's a robot. Like Terminator style. Kids need smokes. It says kick butt on the shirt. She lost her mind. Free brain. She barely registered the journey to the hostel. It says fuck off back to your freezers. Oh, wow. Everyone was at dinner when she got there. No one thought to feed her. She was led through a maze of beds that smelled sharply of the people who slept in them. Looking at her new charity-donated clothes still bearing the ammonia spore of the man who wore them last, Mary's shocked brain started to a new understanding. She wasn't wanted here. She was revived out of a sense of begrudged duty. She'd been foisted upon a future already busy enough with its own problems by a past that couldn't have cared less. She could have told the future what it had been like to meet Che Guevara in that old Cuban schoolhouse. She could have told them about the last queen and Albert Einstein and a million other true stories besides. But the future didn't want to know. It honored the contracts with the past, revived them, gave them their money back, even adjusted the sums in their favor against revaluation and inflation, gave them the hostels, put them away with a new unspoken contract. Don't bother us, we're not interested. Everyone else in the hostel had been damaged in the same way as Mary. Sooner or later they took an unfiltered look at the outside world, and it burned out something important in them. There were fights in the hostel, and the alleyway surrounding. The hospitals were used to it. Gashes and blunt force trauma inflicted by blunt butter knives, the closest things to weapons made available in plenty of the hostel's canteens. There were tears and screams in the night, every night. Some of them were Mary's. The revivals are thrown out of the hostels during daylight hours and onto the streets. Many revivals go into light catatonia on the streets. The tougher ones traditionally round them up and drag them back home at meal times. It says, fuck this city property. What? Mary sticks to the alleyways where the light and noise of the city is screened out a little, and she talks to anyone who will listen. She tells of how she was revived, tells it in cold, quiet, terrible detail. She has a photographer's eye. She's made a still documentary of her new life up in her chilled head, and she tells stories of the past. Great, rich, warm human stories of Stephen Hawking mapping the universe from a wheelchair, of dancing with children in the Zimbabwe dust, and walking through Moscow snow with Mikhail Gorbachev. John Kennedy playing grab-ass in the White House, Nelson Mandela laughing at dirty jokes on a Joburg street, a kid walking in front of a Chinese tank. The stories that make us great. It says nothing happened in the newspaper. Mary will live for maybe another century, but her story is over, because you wouldn't have it any other way. Wow. What a story. Really makes you think about wanting to come back. And a lot of people, they do get to come back, and they're like, wow, this is not a future that wants me. It's crazy, right? Yep. So we saw two methods in the future. We saw people being downloaded and what that was like, and didn't seem like it would be a bad thing. You'd be a cloud of dust or whatever, but you fuck dust and you feel all kinds of things. I don't know. It's weird. And then you have the one that a lot of people want to be cryogenically frozen and brought back, and how horrible it is. In terrible. Like, you live a century, but for what? Some food for thought here. Definitely. All the new crazy religions, and it's just absolutely nuts. Again, Warren Ellis, man, definitely a prophet of our times. Remember, this stuff was written in the 90s, late 90s. So a lot of the stuff that they're talking about, we already kind of have, or some of the stuff's way off, but some of it, it's already been predicted, especially with society. We're getting there if we're not there already. It's very, very close, and it's very cryptic. This is images of the future, and I hope you've enjoyed Grimm's Comic Corner tonight, and we'll have more Transmetropolitan for you later.